Morning, Dean Davison, liveweatherblogs.com, student meteorologist. We're going to go over an overview of what occurred over the last few days. We're going to start with yesterday's events. You can see all these tornadoes here. Most of them are going to become, a lot of these are going to become confirmed. We had a couple become confirmed here in Southwest Virginia and North Carolina, EF1 and EF2s, and they're going to survey today for the tornadoes that occurred yesterday. And I like to see what finally comes out of some of them. A lot of these storms are right turners, and the right turning storms sometimes are a little bit more severe when it comes to the power of them. And of course, this coming off the mountain chain into a flat area on the lee side of a mountain is going to become a point for me to do more research that I've been doing on the lee side convergence factors here in Southwest Virginia in North Carolina. So this is actually going to be good information. Unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of cleanup going on today in Virginia and also in North Carolina. And I mean, Richmond even suffered a good chance that they suffered a tornado. We're going to keep going north. Look at those tornadoes in near Richmond, and we also have this one tornado. This actually has. I'm going to pull it up. This actually has a funnel cloud to find out if it actually touched down at one point. I do not know, but I actually got photos. This will be courtesy of Chris White when I pull them up. He writes blogs for his own site. He's a storm chaser, and he has pictures of actual funnel cloud with that one. So, and I'll show you that momentarily here. But we're just going over the different cells that occurred here. A lot of them. Wind was not in the severe limits here, right up against the mountains, but it did get more severe. And let me do some drawing on this map, and I can show you what I'm talking about. A lot of the issue here is we had the low-level jets pumping in from the Gulf of Mexico straight up to the north. Okay, we had storms and the basic flow coming in from the west, and with the shear factor and the crossing with the wind with height, with that low-level jet and the strength of the sheer strength of the low, you had the opportunity to cause tornadoes. Now, shear easily can occur east of the Blue Ridge Mountains in this area, right as it comes off the mountain. You get a lot of the air descending, and because it's went over the mountains, and you usually get a lot of times we're getting a southeast wind coming into the mountain chain, like some of the storms coming out of the southwest or coming out of the west, they run into it, and when they do, we have problems with tornadic activity. And this in itself is a tornado outbreak for the North Carolina and Virginia area. When we're talking about, we average somewhere around 8 tornadoes to 10 tornadoes a year, and we've had close to that in one day. So definitely interesting with this pattern that's occurred, the La Nina pattern, and this is going to go into the winter outlook, and we're going to go into that on November 15th. You're going to have our winter outlook from liveweatherblogs.com, so it's going to be interesting. Just wanted to explain a little bit how this is all coming together and working. Surely all the tornadic reports come out of Virginia and North Carolina in this area east of the Blue Ridge. Like I said, a lot more information for me to study. 14 tornadoes total, most in the northernmost part of North Carolina and the southern and the eastern part of Virginia. And like I said, this is a lot of information to take in, especially when this low was back here. And we had the threat of tornadoes all in this area, but so yesterday just had it in North Carolina, Virginia. That's where the low-level jet was the strongest. All right, we're going to back up one day prior to this, and you can see the low-level jet there was further out to the west, and that's the situation out to the west the day prior. And those tornado reports are up to 46. So we had 46 tornado reports the day prior. That's pretty nuts, any way you look at it. All right. This is out of Henry County, Virginia. This is courtesy of WSLS Roanoke news report, and I'm going to play this. Let's just show you some of the sheer damage that occurred in Southside Virginia. This is probably about 80 miles from, less than that, from Roanoke. And of course, you got North Carolina. Permission on North Carolina, which is good because they're going to need it for the money. Here you go.
The tornado only lasted a few minutes, but left a trail of destruction in the accident area of Henry County.
Before I could even get up and look out the window, I started hearing all kinds of noise where it sounded like things was breaking and tearing up.
Malcolm Wilson Jr. woke up to find this tree in his mother's yard, a shed overturned, and his chicken coop destroyed.
And the biggest part of the roof is see way down in the woods, about 60 yards down in there.
Yeah.
Bill Martin is in the same boat. The strong winds from the storm ripped off the roof on his barn and threw pieces across the road into the woods. His barn door also flew off.
Insulated door, and to kick it in like that, it's about 14 by almost 20 feet, and it just, and that's got runners down the door every foot. So all that was holding it, it just caved it right in.
And we can't forget about this tree. It received the biggest brunt of the storm. If you take a look at this tree, you can pretty much get an idea of how powerful the tornado really was. And it had to pack quite a punch. I mean, take a look at the way it just uprooted this tree. And if you take a look at the trunk part, my height is about 5'6", and this trunk is at least 7 or 8 feet tall.
We've had tornadoes in the past, nothing ever close to it.
Considering all the damage, Martin says he's thankful. After all, the tree barely missed his house.
When I saw it, I was just stunned that it didn't do any more damage than it did.
Like others, Martin is now enjoying the calm after the storm, looking forward to a much calmer night. In Henry County, Ashley Roberts, WSOS, to your side.
Anyway, that's from WSLS. And they, like I said, the information, this was a EF0 with 85 mile an hour winds. And as I said, they're doing more surveys today for more storms that occurred yesterday. We had the same storms, same locations, and it's been nuts. And after the past 48 hours, but finally we're going to get a break from it, and we can move on and clean up here. The biggest thing is that during this, I was in a chat with Roanoke affiliate WDBJ7. They put up liveweatherblogs.com on the chat with a lot of people in it. As this was happening, there was people coming in saying they're seeing green flashes. This is in this area in Henry County. Green flashes. They were hearing the loud roar. They were seeing trees come up, and a couple of them reported, right there and then that they were using a laptop without being, with a card and not being hooked to a electricity. That there was trees falling on their houses and on their stuff outside. And so we were getting pretty much live reports that they happened from so many people in accident. It's devastating, and this is an area of Virginia that people consider a Virginian tornado alley. East of the Blue Ridge, it goes down to the Norfolk area of Virginia. That area is very susceptible to, based on my belief and my hypothesis on a sea breeze interaction down towards the ocean. I did research on that, and I'm still doing research on that from years ago. But anyways, just wanted to show you some of the sheer information that's coming straight out of Virginia here. And like I said, this is out of Virginia, North Carolina. This is not including the other areas that occurred, tornadic activity occurred the day before, which is like Kentucky and Indiana and vice versa. But Virginia took a big hit. It was a tornado outbreak for Virginia and North Carolina. And I hope to have more. If you go to liveweatherblogs.com in the members file, for Charles Croson, he experienced a tornado yesterday in Pearson County. He basically gave an outline of what was going on at that point, and he hoped to hear more from him today on the information there. But until then, liveweatherblogs.com, student meteorologist Dean D. Davidson here, and everybody have a great day, and I look forward to talking to you tonight on my overnight outlook. And if we get any more tornadic reports, we'll update them as they come along. Dean Davidson, liveweatherblogs.com.